Hello everybody, my name is Brianna Bilo and I'm a meteorologist here with the National Weather Service office in Grand Junction, Colorado. And this is your spring 2025 seasonal weather summary. I know it's been a while since the last time I did these videos. Understandably, there's been a lot going on in the office, as there's been a lot going on across all Weather Service offices in the last several months. Hopefully going forward I'll be able to do these again on a regular basis, but right now our priority really is in providing mandatory services such as our forecasts, weather balloons, decision support services, etc. So if there is a month or a seasonal video that does not get posted, my apologies. All that means is that they needed me to do other tasks that kind of precluded me doing these types of videos. I do try to post the written summary every month to our webpage, and I don't believe I've missed out on doing a seasonal summary, but I have posted a couple of monthly summaries that did not have corresponding videos. I'll make sure to link those in the description, both on this one and on the May monthly summary as well. So if you're interested in what the weather's been like over the past couple of months, you can at least see the written summaries, if not one of my beautiful, wonderful videos with my perfect little face. And if you're here and you're excited to see these videos up again, I really appreciate you. It makes my job a little bit better to know that there are people out there who enjoy what we do. And with that disclaimer, we'll get into things. You may notice a few word changes, things like that. Those are mostly just, what's the word? For show, essentially. None of the actual content in these videos will have changed. So if you are a regular visitor, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. I hope you enjoy our summary of the spring season in western Colorado and eastern Utah. So starting off with our March story of the month, we had our late season snow. So the western slope is certainly no stranger to late season snowstorms, but it definitely felt a little odd to have snow sticking to the roads across the lower elevations of eastern Utah and western Colorado in the month of March. We had several strong and cold winter storms that worked their way through the area, and there were several days of messy travel along some important travel corridors, including I-70, as well as US Highway 40. And just a little reminder to us from Mother Nature that despite the fact that we saw 70 degree temperatures in February here in the Grand Valley, winter isn't over. So just some highlights here. This is heavy snow in Meeker on March 18th. We saw some heavy snow west of Craig on the 18th. We saw snow make it into Glenwood Canyon on the 14th of March, Pi Day. And we also saw snow on Vail Pass on March 14th as well. So definitely still, despite being spring on the calendar, winter in the mountains. Moving into April, we saw a spring weather roller coaster. So despite the fact that March was very much still winter, by the time we got into April, we really started seeing those spring swings. So the month of April could be best summed up as a wild roller coaster of weather. One day we would see much above normal temperatures and even some fire weather concerns. And then the next day we'd see a fresh 6 inches of snow. And on top of that, we started seeing these strong, breezy southwesterly winds that would kick up dust and lead to hazy days all across the region. And while a short period of quiet weather would round out any given week, the pattern would just reset itself for the next week. To make these stories of the months, I tend to go back and look through our Facebook to look at our weather stories and other things that get posted. And I can't tell you how many times we used this specific template just because the month of April was just that wild. So this one specifically was from somewhere in the middle of April. We don't have a date on this one, but that's okay. So we saw 70 degree temperatures here across the lower desert valleys. We saw some pretty breezy conditions, especially over the higher elevations, along with red flag conditions. And then that night, we were expecting to see snow, higher elevations snow, with a pretty good chance of greater than 6 inches across all of our Colorado ranges. So want to talk about wild weather. Moving into May, we saw a cooler and unsettled month, which is definitely interesting considering the earlier in the year we saw some very warm periods. So it was definitely interesting to see this cooler pattern set up, especially for like late April and into May. So the month of May felt a bit more like an extended April than a proper month of May, as unseasonably cool and unsettled weather stuck around for most of the month. We even had some substantial mountain snow a few times during the month of May, which not out of the question, but definitely starting to get into the unusual category here. The one thing that did change from April to May was an expansion of convective afternoon showers and thunderstorms, which is much more of a summer type thing than really one for the spring. So despite the fact that we were still seeing accumulating snow in the mountains and temperatures at or below normal, we were also starting to see afternoon showers and thunderstorms developing over the higher terrain as we started getting that stronger spring sunshine, leading to that higher terrain heating up and allowing for these storms to develop. So this is from May 19th. You can see cooler temperatures for sure. Showers with embedded thunderstorms were expected that afternoon. Snow was expected above timberline that evening, and gusty winds of 20 to 35 miles per hour expected as well. So definitely feels a lot like that messy and a roller coastery April, but we're already almost to June by this point. So definitely interesting. Moving into some stats, we have our high temperatures for the spring season. So just to reiterate, the spring season is composed of the months of March, April, and May. So these are the highest high temperatures across all of those 3 months. Unsurprisingly, they all occurred in May. Our highest high temperature was 96 degrees, and that occurred in Canyonlands on the 31st. And our coolest high temperature was 81, and that occurred in Aspen on the 31st. And as you can see, we definitely had a bit of a heat spell right at the end of May, as all of these highest high temperatures occurred on the 30th or the 31st of that month. Moving into our lowest temperatures, definitely a little bit more of a range here as far as when these occurred. Our coldest low temperature was 2 degrees in Meeker, and that occurred on April 2nd. Our warmest lowest temperature was 23 degrees in Grand Junction, also on April 2nd. But some of these temperatures occurred on March 20th. There were a few that occurred on March 19th as well. So a little bit more of a spread here. That wasn't just one specific cold snap that gave us our overall coldest temperatures. Precipitation. It was not the best season as far as precipitation was concerned. We were definitely drier than normal in March and moving into April, although we did see a little bit of a reprieve for that in May, and you will see that in the May video as well as in the write-ups for March, April, and May that I will be linking below. The most precipitation that fell during this season was in Meeker, where they topped out at just under 3.3 inches. Unfortunately, despite the fact that that sounds like a lot, this was 1.4 inches nearly below normal for the season. And at the bottom here, we actually have Montrose, where they ended up topping out with 0.7 of an inch for the entire season, which was over 1.5 inches below normal. Nice to see though, and you'll know if you are a regular and have watched these videos, you'll know why I'll say it's nice to see that Vernal is not dead last for once, because they really struggled this winter. So it's good to see that they have been at least getting some precipitation over the course of the spring season. Looking at our drought outlook for the summer, we are looking at drought persisting wherever drought exists. So for the sake of this map, that means a D1 or moderate drought category or higher drought. D0, which is abnormally dry conditions, do not contribute to this tendency typically, nor do drought-free conditions unless they are in areas where drought development is likely. So essentially what this is saying is that where we have drought, we're going to keep having drought. Whether or not that's going to worsen, this really doesn't say. So it's dry, it's going to stay dry. Looking at our summer 2025 outlook, we are definitely seeing a strong signal for above normal temperatures through the summer season. So that would be June, July, and August. I believe this is like 50 to 60% tendency towards above normal temperatures. So that's a very strong signal, especially at this time frame. And the vast majority of the area is looking at equal chances of above or below normal precipitation over the summer season, with northeast Utah and northwest Colorado seeing a slight tendency, so 30 to 40% leaning towards below normal precipitation over this 3-month period. So not the best news if you're hoping for a good monsoon this year, but things can change. And this being a 3-month outlook, definitely there's more uncertainty as we're at longer time steps. So stay tuned, especially to the monthly summaries, to see how this sort of forecast will change. And that's that for the spring summary. If you're still here, thanks for sticking around. If you're somebody who watches these videos regularly, welcome back. I'm still really glad that you're here. And like I said at the beginning, I'm hoping that we'll get to do this on a more regular basis again, but I can't make any promises because of the situations that are currently ongoing. All I can promise you is my best, and take it or leave it, I guess. But I'm glad that you're here, and I hope you enjoyed. So I'll see you again in the monthly video, and I'll see you in 3 months for another seasonal summary. Have a good one, everybody.